I pressed my back to a cold boulder and killed the light. The trees were black walls. Footsteps came closer, slow, sure, like the walker knew I was here. My throat burned. I was terrified and silent. I could not blink. My ears rang. Something scraped the rock beside me, a dry, dragging sound. I smelled damp fur, metal, and creek mud. My radio tried to speak, then coughed static. I wanted to scream. I only mouthed, "Please, go away!" It started 4 hours ago at the station, with warm coffee and jokes. I signed in, checked the map, and took the South Loop. I said, "Quiet night, easy pay." I did not know I was inviting it into my route. I regret that line. The forest road was empty, yet my headlights caught fresh tire tracks. They were too deep, like a heavy truck. No campers had permits tonight. I felt annoyed, then uneasy. I turned off the road and followed them anyway. That was my mistake. Near marker 9, I found a gate bent open. The lock was not cut. It looked peeled, like someone twisted it with bare hands. I said, "This is Ranger Cole. Show yourself." My voice echoed and died. Only wind answered. I felt small. Past the gate, the trail went wrong. No crickets, no owl calls. Even my boots sounded loud. My flashlight beam looked weak, as if the air swallowed it. I kept walking anyway. I told myself I was just tired, but I felt dread growing. Then I saw a tent between two cedars, half hidden. No fire ring, no gear, no shoes. Just a blue tent, wet and sagging. I called, "Hello, you cannot camp here?" I waited. The tent did not move. My skin crawled with fear. I felt sick. I unzipped the flap and looked inside. A sleeping bag lay open, flat, like someone climbed out fast. A phone sat on a rock, screen cracked. It lit by itself, flashed my name, then went dark again. The screen left a pale glow on my fingers. My radio clicked once, then my own voice came through, clear and cheerful. "Quiet night, easy pay." I felt sick. I stared at the radio and whispered, "That is not me." The speaker crackled like laughter. My hands went cold and stiff. I switched channels and tried dispatch. Only static. Then my voice returned, slower, like it was learning. "Ranger Cole, come closer." I stepped back from the tent. My hands were shaking. "Who are you?" I hated how scared I sounded out loud. My flashlight blinked 3 times and died. I slapped it. It came back weak. Behind me, something stepped on a branch. I spun around and saw nothing. Then I heard my own breath, but not from my lungs. I felt trapped in my skin like prey. I hurried to my truck and almost tripped. The key turned, the engine coughed, then stopped. The dash lights pulsed like a tired heart. The radio inside the cab whispered my name again. I said, "No, not tonight." My voice broke into a whimper. I grabbed a flare, a first aid kit, and my spare baton. I left the truck and walked toward the river line, where the trees were thinner. I did not run yet. I kept talking to myself to stay brave. "You are trained. You can handle this," I lied. On the path, I found a ranger hat in the dirt. It was my size. My name patch was sewn on it. The thread was fresh. I felt my stomach drop. I said out loud, "This is impossible. This cannot be real." My mouth was dry and bitter. Footsteps followed me, matching my pace. When I stopped, they stopped. When I took one step, they took one. My radio hissed, then my own voice copied my whisper, copied my fear. I started to panic. I whispered, "Stop copying me." It copied that too. At the clearing, a figure stood under a dead tree. Ranger green jacket, utility belt, same badge spot. It lifted a hand like a friendly wave. Then its head turned too far, and the smile stretched wrong. I felt my knees go soft. I wanted to beg. It spoke with my voice, but flat, like a recorder. Ranger Cole, you are off route. Its face changed in the beam. Ranger, camper, child. Then my face again. I felt cold all the way to my bones. I knew it could wear anyone it touched. I raised the flare gun and shouted, "Stay back!" It stepped closer, quiet. Its skin rippled like wet paper over hard shapes. My radio screamed my laughter, then my crying, then a loud, "Run!" I fired, and red light hit it. It jerked, then smiled. I ran, and it chased, but it did not run like a man. It jumped between shadows, close, far, close. Branches whipped my eyes. I slipped, hit mud, and crawled. Behind me I heard boots, then claws. I was sure I would die. I tasted blood. I pressed my back to a cold boulder and killed the light. The trees were black walls. Footsteps came closer, slow, sure, like the walker knew I was here. My throat burned. I was terrified and silent. I could not blink. My ears rang. Something scraped the rock beside me, a dry, dragging sound. I smelled damp fur, metal, and creek mud. My radio tried to speak, then coughed static. I wanted to scream. I only mouthed, "Please, go away!" My hands shook. Behind the boulder, the steps stop. My radio whispers, "I found you." A cold hand turns my head. The light snaps on, and my own face smiles inches away, wearing my badge, while it drags me into the dark, takes my place for good.